Hey, what's up everybody? It's Dave. I've got some driving to do today, and I figured I would just take an opportunity while I'm sitting here really doing nothing but traveling to give a little back story or some history, if you will, on my automotive experience, all the stuff that I've done so far and really what got me into cars, and obviously, as you see right now, to the point of doing a frame swap on a truck. It's pretty ridiculous. So I figured I'd give you guys a little history, some backstory, get to know me a little bit more, and yeah, anyway. So I was super into BMX biking and raced BMX bikes and would go out to the track every Saturday and get my friend's dad would drive us out. We'd hop out and we'd see some dudes that we looked up to, and they would just have their bikes tossed in the back of a pickup truck, and they would just pull up to the track. Of course, they had a big stereo, and it was lowered. It was like a Mazda B2200 classic mini truck. And so they would pull up to the track, they'd hop out of the truck, they'd get their bikes out of the bed and just go riding. And I thought it was the coolest thing, not only that they had, a bunch of 12-inch subs in the back of that, but they could just toss the bikes in the bed and just go. So I said, when I turn 16, I want to get a pickup truck. And so when I turned 16, actually 15, I guess, I got a little S10, extra cab S10 pickup truck. It was an 84 S10, 5-speed, had the V6 in it. I didn't care about going fast, but I really liked the low rider. I really liked the big stereo. And I really liked the convenience for the bikes. So, turned 15, couldn't drive yet, but we picked up the truck and started working on it. And I wanted a stereo. I wanted to be that guy that you could hear coming. So I bought a little 210 box, and I bought an amp, and I put them in the truck. And I figured out when I tried to turn it on why it didn't work. I didn't realize that the 12-volt thing meant you had to hook it up to the battery. Ground was ground, remote was to the radio. What is all of this stuff? So, did some research, figured it out, got it hooked up, and boom, had some tunes in the truck. Had some bass, had some subs. So that got me started, and then from there on out, I was hooked. I ended up working, we had some other friends that were into cars. So one guy had an 82 or 83 Honda Accord, and he kept that thing shining clean. That thing was pristine, and ended up, working on that car. We got into building speaker enclosures, read all the Crutchfield magazines, and increased our amplifiers and ended up going to Circuit City and buying subs when they would have them like buy one get one free. They have a BOGO on subs, like MTX subs. Oh, it was great. And so we would take those subs and we would just build an enclosure, pilot how we'd try sealed enclosures, ported enclosures. We tried all kinds of stuff, and we got actually pretty good at it. And by my senior year in high school, we were entering competitions and actually like winning stuff for SPL competitions. And when you shove three JBL 12-inch subs that were made for like concert series type stuff with a SoundStream reference amp running at a half ohm load in the back seat of an 83 Accord. It's pretty loud. But so I'll put up some pictures of some cars. Here was the show car that I did. It had 4 10-inch subs. This was a 95 Honda Accord. Had Eibach lowering springs on some Tokiko shocks. Had some 19-inch Racing Heart wheels. It was mostly slow and low. It was automatic, little 4-banger that they had. It had the 4 10-inch subs in the back with some Alpine amps in it. And the thing was sweet, and I actually did pretty good. I hit 142 dB in SPL with that thing. So I was pretty happy about that, pretty stoked. And not a lot of trunk rattle. So we were particular about the cars being clean. I sold that, and then I picked up this. This was after having some mini trucks and some little Accords and stuff. I was ready to go to a full size. So I picked up the square body Tahoe and did a full airbag suspension. That was my first foray into the airbag life and loved it. 9-inch drop, full air ride by Air Ride Technologies. Did a flip kit in the rear and had the step bars just so they would sit on the ground. Front bumper pretty much on the ground. Had some 20-inch billet wheels, so those things tucked up in. Love that truck, and took that thing to shows everywhere. And so that truck was, gosh, I got rid of that thing in 2001. So that was back before 20s came stock. That was back, my license plate said big rims. Boom, big rims, there it is. And man, I love that thing. It was classic, it was clean, and had a bunch of fun times in that thing. Sold that, and soon after I got engaged and bought a couple other Accords, had some S10s, had a Prelude, had a Civic, like an 02 Civic. I just kind of went through the life of Honda, going for gas mileage, but still like the pickup truck style. So I had another S10 that was, again, extra cab, 5-speed. Drove that thing for a bit, and just kind of been loving cars ever since. So after I graduated high school, we had been so good at car stereos. I was framing houses at the time as my summer job, and just continued doing that full time because I was also touring in a disco band up and down the east coast of the United States. And so I would get off my construction job, I'd go get on the park and ride, hop in our tour bus. We had a 40-foot bus, so we'd hop in, go play a gig, get back at 2 in the morning, go home, sleep for a few short hours, get back to the construction site at 6 a.m., bust my butt, back to the van, back to a gig, and did that for a while. But the weather got bad, and so construction slowed down, and I still needed to pay my bills. So started working in Circuit City. We went into the car shop there, and did that for a number of years while I was in college. Worked part-time as much as I could at Circuit City, doing stereo work. Then I went to a couple custom shops. There was a shop out here called Cars. There's another shop called RPM. Shout out to Thomas at RPM, always supporting a brother with some car mods. And yeah, so it was quite a ride in the custom scene. And all along the way, my friend and I were always doing installs on the side. And so we had a business we called Big Rims and Audio. My license plate said Big Rims, go figure, his said Audio. So that was a blast, and just been in the scene ever since. Obviously working on my cars, doing remote starts and stereos, and people call me up, and my parents' cars, my friends' cars, people that I worked on back when I was at Circuit City, they kept my number, and they would give me a ring and say, hey, need you to do this. So now I'm driving the Yukon. You saw me hitch up the trailer to it. This is my second one. I had one that got totaled right in front of my house. Somebody ran into the back end of it. I bought it back from insurance. I'm waiting because that motor is going in Pepper. That motor is going to go on the S10 for our frame swap. And so, yeah, just been driving Yukons ever since. I love the big trucks. I love being able to have the carriage space to throw a bunch of audio gear in it, throw all my kids in it, throw the bikes in the back, throw a trailer on it, whatever I need to do. This thing has done it. And this is just a 1500 size, so it's not like it's got super big rear axle or, you know, big transmission or anything. I mean, it's just standard 5.3. Yeah, so I love the truck. But anyway, that's my kind of history on cars, on automotive. I've done the car scene thing. I've done the being in a car club. Shout out to Extreme Creations, EK, my boys, back in the day. Yeah, and we just kind of did our thing, man. We had a blast. And I'm an audio head, I'm a bass head. I've still got a stereo in this thing that floats from car to car. The same amp and sub that I've had for literally 12 years is in this thing. And it's a 5-channel amp. I just plug it into whatever car I'm in. I hook it up to the factory speakers until they sound horrible. And then I've got a set of JBL 6.5 components that I toss in place. I just kind of roll with it. I don't have a whole lot of time to tinker and play with it. It sounds good. It's clean. It's my reference vehicle for doing audio mixing and stuff. But so now fast forward. I'm working at a job that I drive interstate 20 minutes to and from the job. And 5.3 is not the most gas efficient thing. And I could buy a little beater, but I decided I wanted a pickup truck again. I like being able to pull a trailer, but I wanted a pickup truck, you know? Gotta have that pickup life. And I wanted something cool, man. I've always wanted a custom classic vehicle. For a while, I wanted to do a 34 Ford and like a 3-window, but it just wasn't a pickup truck. So I decided, hey, let's pick up this 54 Chevy and get it running, and that would be fun. And then I wanted gas mileage, and you saw the video of why I'm going into the dark side doing a frame swap. But that's where we are, man. That's kind of 15 to 40 with cars. I've loved them. I've had a bunch of them. You know how it is. You get addicted to it. And so going full frame swap, full airbag, full air ride, digital, everything. I'm going to put the 5.3 in it and hook it up to the Turbo 400 that I've got, the TH, I guess it's TH 400. Yeah, and just cruise that thing. That's going to be my daily driver once it's up and running, and just going to kind of see how that thing goes. So anyway, that's it. Just kind of a short video here to give you some history on me, my automotive background, why I've got all these tools, why I've got the love for cars. And anyway, so thanks so much for hanging out with us, watching this build series. It's the biggest project I've ever done automotively. Yeah, I've done all the bolt-on stuff. Like I said, I did airbags on my Tahoe, but I did have to get somebody to weld on the rear end. Everything else was bolt-in C-notch, bolt-in shock waves up front. But I had to get somebody to weld the brackets on for my rear air over leaf setup back in the day. So that's it for right now. I'm going to sign off and just living this Interstate 95 South life. But I will catch up with you guys in the next video. Thanks so much again. Like, share, subscribe. You know the deal. It helps us out as YouTube content creators. And we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.